Koloyota and a very good evening. These are our top stories for tonight. Niue's Airport Control Tower, or Civil Aeronautics Board, has received a facelift in recent weeks, with all hands on deck, including those on standby yesterday, ensuring the cab was returned to its original position safely and secured. The contract for the new cab was awarded to Doug the Builder, with funding from the Asset Maintenance Fund. Doug the Builder advised they intend on finishing their part of the contract next week, with the whole building set to be installed and completed, with the tentative date being 28th August this year. Director for Transport Sonia Talangi informs the new cab is based on the old cab design, but for the rest of the tower there will be cosmetic changes such as painting and general renewal. The cab, it was said, needed to be replaced, and that during negotiations with the contractor it was agreed to replace the entire existing cab. New footage shows one of the old wrecks at Beveridge Reef that has made the pristine seas destination its permanent home, bringing the total documented number of wreckages to at least 3. Submerged at high tide and barely visible during low tide, if not for the breaking waves, Beveridge Reef is known as being an unforgiving reef should one hit aground. The latest wreckage was a catamaran belonging to a British family that hit Beveridge in 2017 and was rescued by Niue's donor whale research vessel, Donna Katarina. BCN has exclusive footage of one of the wreckages from local non-government organisation Omatafua's research team, who circumnavigated the area over the weekend while undertaking annual whale research. All along the reef edge, the pristine seas location is teeming with fish and abundant shellfish. The passage still remains hub to many grey reef sharks. National Geographic reported in 2017 that Beveridge Reef has arguably the highest density of grey reef sharks in the world. In 2017, Niue announced and declared the area as inclusive of the 40% marine protected area. Questions, though, remain over the monitoring, control and surveillance of the area, being over 100 miles out of Niue. Vessels are known to visit the area without registering in Niue should they spend time within the area. Such vessels have also harvested resources unreported and unmonitored. BCN News understands that the New Zealand Defence Force undertakes frequent air surveillance over the area. BCN intends to find out more from the government agencies responsible for potential environmental damage from the most recent wreckage on the reefs, and including Beveridge Reef, including the issue of illegal fishing in the area and protecting a pristine seas location. The second round of community consultations on the Taonga Niue Act is underway today with the support from UNESCO. The purpose of the consultation is to inform the community participants with the Taonga Niue Act 2012 and the Niue Cultural Act 1986, as well as to look at the 6th UNESCO Convention, says UNESCO Commissioner of Niue, Bertha Tongahai.
Niue has only ratified one of the 6 UNESCO conventions, the Safeguarding of Intangible Cultural Heritage Convention. Several key stakeholders from community groups, including the Ekalesia and youth, were present at the consultation today. We spoke with Moira Anetama, the director of Taonga Niue, who spoke of the importance of our taonga contributing to sustainable development.
This is the second session of community groups coming together to discuss about the Taonga Niue Act, came into force in 2012, as well as having some understanding of UNESCO conventions, cultural conventions that Niue should ratify, and we have only ratified one so far. It's not easy to ratify a convention, and it's not for the department alone to act on this, but it requires a lot of consultation as well as research to back up the need to ratify. And it's very important that we continue to guide and protect our cultural heritage. It's not necessarily that we must ratify these conventions. The commitment is up to the people. If we believe that this is a place that provide for us from the very beginning and will continue to provide for us in generations to come, it is our responsibility to look after all these resources, and these resources, no doubt, will contribute to the sustainable development of Niue.
UNESCO's Commissioner to Niue, Bertha Tongahai, said that the last consultation was conducted in 2017. She says that UNESCO's Cultural Conventions makes provisions for a governance system for culture, which operates in full compliance with human rights instruments and in full respect of cultural diversity. This is Esther Pavi for BCN News.
A team of 3 officials from the Oceania Customs Organization are on the island this week to help the Niue government with customs administration leading up to the ratification of the trade agreement PESA Plus. Esther Pavihi spoke with the team leader and trade and revenue advisor Lesiana Tunganga on what the key objectives are of their assignment here in Niue.
The team of 4 trade officials and advisors have been working with customs officials on systems that will modernize customs administrations as well as to finalize the draft customs bill that will strengthen Niue's position in preparation for the ratification of the PESA Plus trade agreement.
The work that we are focused in, the OCO is actually tasked with, is really looking specifically at PESA Plus. But we have with us in the team as well our legal consultants, and we're using the opportunity to be able to review the whole bill. I think the bill is quite important, only in the sense that it provides for modernized customs procedures in terms of facilitating trade for the traders. And so what we hope to get out of this is to make sure that it includes the PESA Plus provision, but more importantly, working through with the government stakeholders to enable them to approve the bill in its process. We understand that that becomes like a national legislative process, but if Niue is to ratify the PESA Plus, they need the customs bill to be enacted. So in terms of the modern customs processes, we are working with Australia and New Zealand to implement what we call Esikuda World for the countries. And so that, again, is a contributing factor to like modern customs processes. In this case, it is easier for the traders to trade, and then also it is predictable in terms of their customs clearance. So that's what we're expecting. We do understand that the bill has to go through its normal legislative process, but we are hoping that given the political will also to ratify the agreement, because this now includes the provisions for PESA Plus, that we are able to facilitate through its process.
The team spent the week working with customs officials and also in consultation with the importers and exporters on the island, including the Chamber of Commerce. The Oceania Customs Organization is a regional organization based in Suva with 23 member countries, including Niue. These country missions are funded by the governments of Australia and New Zealand as part of the PESA Plus trade agreement. The team will leave the island tomorrow. This is Esther Pavihi for BCN News.
A complaint of an assault was received by the Niue police this week against a Niuean male over an incident that occurred over the weekend. Chief of Police Tony Edwards spoke to BCN News this morning, confirming that they did receive the complaint and that the police are still carrying out investigations at this stage. He says they will be able to determine if charges will be laid after their initial investigations into the alleged assault. Chief Edwards says that he expects this to be completed shortly.